Hey guys, I just wanted to take some time today to talk about some of the changes in the latest patch for Another Crab's Treasure that was released on May 10th. Um, I noticed I was watching a live stream of a speedrunner last night, and which was Monday, May 13th, and I noticed some things they were doing that just are no longer possible in the game. So I was like, oh yeah, they must be running the base version or an older patch version of the game. And I just finished my second playthrough of the game, and my second playthrough did have all of these changes from this May 10th patch. So I just wanted to go over some of them, some of the more glaring ones that jumped out at me. The first one was right here with this hairdryer attack. Now, I do have the rubber band equipped, but they have changed it so it no longer just completely negates electrical damage, it only halves it and removes the stun. But you will actually take damage. So fighting Voltai the Accumulator, the hairdryer phase, is no longer just a free gimme. The second change was related to Praia Dubia. In my first playthrough, I was able to basically one cycle this phase right here. And now you'll see I don't even quite think I get her down or get it down to half health. It's now at least a 2 cycle, maybe a 3 cycle for this fight, and that's because they increased the HP from 3,000 to 7,000 for Praia Dubia. And the third thing, I don't really get this one as much, but this is where you pick up the Knight's Helmet, and this is the return trip. You ride this foam cloud. Now, previously up ahead, you would pass too close to an urchin, so you would have to do a little more platforming. You'd have to jump off of the foam and then go around the urchin and then land back on the foam. But it seems like the developers have decided that that was too much of a challenge for some reason, so now the foam cloud just safely goes over the urchin. So the return trip is perfectly safe. You don't have to worry about doing any more platforming. I guess they just thought that the test was the platforming to get to the Knight's Helmet, and there was no reason to have anything in the way on the return trip. I'm really not sure what the logic was, but for whatever reason, the return trip from the Knight's Helmet is now even easier. And there were a lot of other changes. A lot of stowaways got changed. The developers are clearly trying to make us vary up our builds. So they've definitely made some stowaways a lot less attractive, or at least less attractive than they were previously. So they clearly want us to vary things up a little bit. But yeah, and there were some other balance adjustments. There was a slight nerf to the hammer. I'll put a link to all the patch notes for this one down below in the description if you want to go check those out yourself. But yeah, those were the major glaring issues I noticed in my second playthrough. Was just Praia Dubia just seems it's not a more difficult fight. It's just definitely a longer fight. It's kind of like in Elden Ring fighting Renala Phase 1 with a character that can't one-cycle it. It's not hard, but it's just kind of tedious because you have to do the same thing over and over until you beat her. And it's kind of, the Praia Dubia kind of feels that way now. So I'm not in love with that change. I really don't understand the change with the Knight's Helmet return path. Like, it wasn't that hard to begin with, so I don't know why they did that. Um, but yeah, and I think the change for the rubber band is more than fair. I think that first part of that Voltai fight uh, was way too easy. You just wouldn't take any damage. So I think it was more than fair that they nerfed the rubber band a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, for example, with like the stowaways, they reduced, for example, the puffer quill stowaway. The weight got reduced from 3 to 2, but the minus to defense was reduced to -10. And I think they might have also changed the attack value the pepper quill gives you. I feel like it used to be +10, but now it's +5. The rusty nail plus stowaway was changed to 6 attack, -5 MSG, and it requires 8 res. So yeah, definitely check out your stowaways, because I think a lot of them might have gotten changed. If not with this patch, just over the patches that have been done up to this point. I am pretty sure that even with this patch, the using bananas to kill Pagurus is still possible. I do know they have, since the base game, they have patched out Pagurus can no longer be grabbed by the bobbit worms, because I know at least in the base game, you could lure him over a bobbit worm and it would grab him. And that was kind of a cheese method for him as well, but that no longer works. But as far as I know, the banana method, where you take 2 bananas into the fight and get him to eat both of them, will result in a kill for Pagurus. And the red cup, the little red cup seems to have not been nerfed either, at least from what I can tell in the release notes. And during my playthrough, it's still, the ability on that still did a ton of damage, so it's still kind of OP. So I get a feeling the little red cup's probably going to get a nerf at some point. Because the ability on that, God, what is it? I think it adds like 300% damage for a period of time to your attacks. It's insane. If you've been ignoring the little red cup, you definitely use it. Because the umami ability on that is definitely worth it. Anyway, like I said, I'll put in the description a link to all the latest patch notes so you can check out everything that's been changed that I haven't gone over here. I just wanted to go over these few things that were sort of the things that made the second playthrough feel different. The things that I noticed, I'm like, wow, this, like with Priadubia, I was like, wow, I'm pretty sure I one-cycled phase 1 in my first playthrough. Why is this a 3-cycle all of a sudden? Things like that. So I just wanted to go over those. So thank you so much for watching, and if you haven't checked out Another Crab's Treasure, do that. It's the second game from Aggro Crab. I'm not sponsored at all. I'm not sponsored by them. They're not asking me to say this. But just as a fan of Souls games and Souls-likes, I can say this was definitely a fun experience. And if you like those types of games, like FromSoft games, you're probably going to enjoy this one. So I do recommend you check it out.